Hello, hello. Today I'd like to discuss about how death works in Sword Art Online and a little bit in other seed games because it serves as both an example of shitty SAO criticism and how SAO does in fact know what it's doing. It's a little hard to put into words, so an example is better. And what better example than the comically memed clip of Diavel refusing a potion after being killed? Why did he do that? Is he stupid? In short, no. He was already dead. His hit points were at zero or were in white bar going to zero, so he was doomed to the spicy microwaves. Now, it's understandable what to be confused by this at first, since it's the first time we see a character die on screen. However, when someone claims to have watched the whole season, it is a lot less understandable, because this sort of dying action happens essentially every time. Sachi, Kobots, and Corridil, for example, are all able to talk after taking lethal damage. This also runs into another criticism of SAO, namely Kirito attacking and finishing off Heathcliff after being killed. Seems unreasonable only because it is unprecedented, but in fact it is not unprecedented. We have multiple on-screen examples of people acting after they are knocked to zero hit points. Diavel is still moving for a few seconds between hitting zero and shattering is foreshadowing the climax of the season or the arc. It's also meant to be a little outside the norm, as it ties into one of SAO's long running themes of overcoming the system of the game world or other virtual world. But that's getting a little off topic. SAO as a game versus SAO as a narrative device is something I can do a whole video on and probably will soon. Sorry. Basically, these couple of issues serve as a microcosm of the bad faith criticism of SAO. Someone misunderstands a moment that serves as foreshadowing, which is generally good storytelling. Then instead of asking how does this work and paying attention for when it is eventually explained, they chalk it up to bad writing and ignore it. And then when the foreshadowing is paid off, because they don't remember anything, because they, again, were not paying attention, they claim it comes out of the blue. So this, they're just, uh, they're not paying attention and run out of brain power, apparently. There was a video talking about the problem with CinemaSins, where they send a movie for something saying, wow, they're never going to explain that, are they? And then they send it again later when it was explained. This is essentially what happens multiple times with Sword Art Online, and it's just as unacceptable there as it is with CinemaSins 20-minute videos. And yes, this through line exists even in the light novels, before the progressive books. Even though Diavel isn't in the first book or the second, as mentioned in Volume 1, Kobots and Corridil are, and they still manage to speak after their final blows. So the foreshadowing is still there. And it's not, and thus it is also not something that the anime made up. It's even possible that this is meant to tie into the resurrection item, as brought up in Volume 2, Episode 3. The time between 0 hit points and the shatter could be the window to use the resurrection item, though the time isn't perfectly consistent in the anime, especially for unnamed or minor characters. And this also wouldn't be the only time the anime messed up a minor detail. It even makes sense mechanically, as once they shatter, you no longer have an item or player to target, which is necessary for resurrecting a pet, as mentioned in another episode. That's all I got. See ya. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, comment, yada yada, YouTube bullshit.